On this episode of Pennies Going in Raw, our very first midweek minisode, we discuss our swings big moves, how to email IR, buying Discord alerts, and beginning trading when you have a mortgage and kids with money that you can't really afford to lose.
Hey, yo, check 1, 2. This is Flavor Flav in the building for the Atlas crew.
Atlas Trading, what the fuck is up?
There are traders, there are prodigies, and then there's legends.
We're up 4%, baby.
No way.
4 fucking percent.
Buy the fucking dip.
Hey, who told me about IDEX?
Like, dude, what the fuck? Like, someone just made, like, a lot more money than me on my trade.
You find out life's this game of pennies.
Did you check the portfolio?
Pennies. The margin for error is so small.
I bet Warren Buffett never did that.
And they out there making money right now off of penny stocks.
Them two guys is putting in work to make y'all rich.
The pennies we need are everywhere around us.
It's time to think big.
Pennies Going in Raw.
Featuring Dan, Deity at Dips, and Hugh Henne.
Produced by Vinny Strokes, baby.
Welcome to the Penny Stock Podcast presented by the Blazing Chronicle. Today is Wednesday, August 5th, and the market is still approaching all-time highs. It's been quite a week for SPY and everything, huh?
Yeah. Corona cases on the rise. You know, all-time new corona cases. Gold's running. Everything's running. Gold's running. I mean,
Bitcoin.
Can't believe. Yeah, Bitcoin. Like, is anything going down right now?
Some of my stocks, yeah. You want me to listen? Oh man, yeah, dude, but it's miraculous. I mean, it is just roaring. But one thing that has been going up, man, is EVFM and TRVN. I guess you can start with TRVN. Your DD you gave us in episode 3. Whenever it was at what, $2 or $3? I don't remember. It was
$1.98.
$1.
$1.98.
Okay.
You know.
$1.98. You'll be generous. Okay. And, you know, it went on a crazy run this week where, it had a little 20% run last week, but this week it really, pedaled to the metal. What was that about?
Yeah, so obviously they have the PFUDA at the end of the week, and also something that we have to clear up is that just because the date is August 7th doesn't mean that it can't come earlier. I see a lot of people why'd you start scaling now if it has all this time? Because it can get approved or disapproved or a FDA notice at any time. It's just that obviously, with the FDA, it's usually on the back end of that date. So it's usually within, I would say like a week and a half to 2 weeks around that date. And especially because of Corona, it's definitely closer to the date. But that doesn't mean that it can't come before. And especially with something that's already failed once, with something that's already failed once, is that when it hit our price target of 3, that's when I started scaling. I mean, we made 50% in a week, and then it went all the way up to like 75%. So I thought that it was really important. I had a lot of questions about that. I said that I started scaling at 3, and I started scaling a good chunk because we don't want to risk it. We play the run up. We play the run up of these, and we're not looking. If it goes higher, that's why we keep a small chunk. But if it fails and it plummets, we don't want to be holding our main core position, especially when we're up 70%.
Yeah, I mean that's not only great risk management, but you're also coming out with fantastic returns for just a week.
Yeah, exactly.
And okay, so on the other hand, there was EVFM, your lady stock. Dude, so you talked about on episode 4, you said if it has an ER and it's bad and it dips, you're just going to add more, and if it's good, it's gonna go higher, and you're comfortable with your position. It seemed to dip. It dipped to 290 from its 3.10 position, and then into its conference call it had, it went all the way up to 330, and now it's kind of consolidating around $3. Can you kind of give us your timeline of that as someone that just doesn't look at just charts?
Yeah, so I think it really, I'll be honest with you, when I saw that they missed by 150%, I thought we were getting like a new all-time low, like a new 52-week low. I was like, dude, what? Like 60% miss last quarter, fine, but 150%. I was like, jeez. But so we followed our plan. Our plan worked perfectly. The thing that I do and I don't like. I like having a launch date of September 8th, but now traders know when it's going to be launched. Therefore, I feel that when there's a date, they're more inclined to not hop in until later. So therefore, my personal plan is to, I'm not going, I don't really go balls deep in anything anymore, but is that I'm going to add more towards the end of the month. I added on the dip, and I'm going to add more towards the end of the month.
You could go balls deep in something as long as the girl's on EVFM.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so I think I adjusted my plan a little bit because I do feel that we're just going to churn the water here until it gets closer. And that's the thing, is that I'm happy that we have a launch date, but by doing that, they also give traders a chance to wait until it's closer to the date. So I did add on the dip, but with there being a launch date, I will add more towards the end of the month and not put this on the back burner, but I'll be looking for dips, but I'm not actively.
I have a question about you said you bought on the dip, but at the same time, they missed ER so bad that you thought it was going to just plummet. How did you kind of get the right dip with your expectation of it potentially going to like 220 or whatever you thought?
Yeah, so I looked at volume. I looked at the volume, and the volume pressure, as much as it was selling, it was just a little bit more selling than buying, which again kind of surprised me if I'm being completely honest. But that's I saw that there was a lot of buying pressure with the selling pressure, and then I kind of did some charting and saw that if it broke 3, okay, then my next ad spot would be 285. We never got 285, but when I saw the almost V reversal from 285, that is when I started to add. Was at that like 287, or it was 293, I think my ad was. Yeah, like 293 was my ad on the dip. And, it was just below my average. I think it took down my average like 2 cents. And then, like I said, is that, I'm not putting it on the back burner, but because there is a launch date and we are, what are we, like an entire, we're more than a month away. So now, I don't want to eat too much opportunity cost. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my core position, add on dips, but really just, wait till it gets closer. Now that we have a date.
Yeah, so I think now that we have a date, it's obviously a little more easier for things like this. So that kind of sums up how good and how quality Hugh's past 2 Hugh's DD of the week have been. Make sure you're following those.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What did TRVN go? I forgot. Yeah, I forgot.
Dude, let me check. I will. What's fun is this is the first time we've ever recorded an episode in the middle of a when the market's open.
Yeah, how
so
you doing
it's like
this
we're
week?
getting to see all this stuff.
Yeah, how you doing this week?
Man, not bad. Just steady gains every day. Nothing special. But staying alive in a beautiful market. So no problems. Even though it's been going up so much, I've just slow and steady, man. That's all that needs to happen.
We like slow and steady.
Yeah, that's me. But okay, so I think that obviously sums up the whole swings of the week thing right now. But I think one of the main things that we get all the damn time. How exactly do you do your emails to IR? Do you just word it like, "Hey, I'm a 21-year-old doing a college report. Please help me," or what? Because clearly there's a certain type of way to email them and reach out properly that you seem to have nailed down perfectly.
Yeah. So we're giving them the bread and butter, huh? Okay. So I think it's really important, one, to identify. I do a little bit of work on who the investor relations actually are. Have they been with the company? Are they younger? Are they older? Like when I was talking to UAVS, or like if you guys have heard of Clean Spark, CLSK, their investor relations were fairly younger, and therefore I could relate with them better. Where if they're older, what I'll do is that, because you guys got to remember, nobody knows who I am behind an email. So nobody hears my voice. No one can tell that I'm a 21-year-old college kid. So what do? I set up 2 to 3 email addresses, and guess what I'll do? is that one email, I'll try and be relatable with the older person, and I'll kind of do a little bit of DD on them, and kind of see like where they're from, see if I
talk about how the millennials suck.
yeah. But it's just even the way that I write the message is that if I'm dealing with an older person, hello sir, I hope all is well. Things like that, where like, by the time that I was done with Jody from BIOC, I was like, yo, Jodester, how's it going? But seriously, you know what I mean? And because
school sucks, the internet rocks.
Yeah, so I think, I think that having a few email addresses, because when they start to get, when they start to understand, what my email address is, and like they start to like not answer me in a few days because they want to put me on hold because they know that I'll answer them in seconds. So, then that's when I email them from a different email address. And the other thing is that to make sure that you're clear and to the point, make sure that they understand when they read your email. One, you have to understand what you want out of the email. So what are you asking? You can't just go in there and say, hey, can you tell me, can you tell me now?
These guys in this Discord won't tell me a price target. Could you at least give me a rough guesstimate?
Yeah, exactly. So you have to know the direction of the email and what you're trying to understand. Are you trying to understand where revenue is going? Are you trying to understand the direction of the business, the management? What are you trying to understand? Because you can't just ask vague general questions. You need to ask to the point DD questions. You need to say, this is what an article said, this is what my estimate and my valuation said, do you agree with this, or how is this different? Okay? Or again, guys, they don't know who I am. They don't know that I'm 21. So guess what I do? Hello, my name is etc. etc. My name is Hugh Henne, and I've been invested with the company. This is what I want to know. I'm heavily invested. Yeah, I am heavily invested, but do they know I'm 21? No, they don't know I'm 21.
So you're not using Hugh Henne at universitystate.edu.
If you're don't use your college email. That's only gone bad for me. Even though it's just the sentiment. One time I ran out of every email address like possible. Like I used 4 email addresses. And so I finally had to use my college email address, and that was the only time that I did it. And I said that I was doing it for a report, and I did do it for a report, but that wasn't a lie. But that was like my last straw. So I think it's important to understand is to be relatable, to understand that they don't know who you are. You can be anyone that you want. I mean, don't lie, but just remember that if you're writing an email, you don't have to write it like how you talk. Like I don't say hello, sir, good morning. Like I don't walk down the steps, hello, father. No, that's not how I do. But if I kind of looking at like the investor relations and he's a little bit, more traditional from my, perspective, then that's how I am. Or like I said, Jody from BIOC, yo dog, So I think it's important.
Yeah, I mean, even if it's just with anything, I mean, that's just getting to know the person and what they respond to. Well, hell, you could Google what university they went to and maybe throw a Go Wolverines at the end.
Oh, of course. Mike Porter from GHSI, I thought we were on a great track because he went to school around the corner from my college. And I was like, go Rider Broncos. And he immediately typed back that he failed out of it, or he dropped his first college or something and he ended up hating there. But I was like, oh yeah, me too. I would hate that place too. And he's like, yikes, tough crowd. Tough crowd here.
Yeah, so also I think that's a good example. Watch what you say. You're not best friends with these people, even if you think you are. But so is that basically all you really do, or all that you're willing to give away the secret sauce of it?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone
if you could give an example kind of if you're doing like, okay, hey.
Here.
I know you said always maybe reference an article, but if you're, I know you love to see how much cash on hand they have. What are you doing? How do you word that? If I was the CEO of a company you were investing in,
yeah,
how would you email me?
Okay, ready? So I'm actually gonna pull up an email that I recently sent. Okay, just for our listeners. Okay.
Okay.
So this is.
Did this get a response?
This did not get a response, but I'll be honest, I didn't really I didn't really expect one because I wanted them to shake in their boots a little bit. I just wanted them to know what I was doing. Okay. So so this was to Trib Trinity Bio. Okay? And I said, hello, my name is Hugh. I've been invested with the company for some time. I have been, following very closely as I do all investments. The other key thing is that say investments. Don't say that you're a day trader. Say that you're investing in the company, that you want to see the longevity of the company succeed, because then they know that you're not just here for the quick buck, even if you are, okay? So, hello, originally said that you hope to gain EUA approval by the end of June. Boom, then I add in the article so that he knows that, so that he can't just email me and be like, well, that was a rough guesstimate. No, you said that you hope to gain FDA EUA approval by the end of June. Then I continue with, has there been some kind of delay? Do you feel, because at this time the price was dipping in Trib, do you feel that the recent price of the stock dipping is because the lack of investor update? It is almost 4 weeks past what you said the timeline was. Don't you feel it is time to update investors? Can there be any other details that you can provide? I have seen on many, because again, these guys, if they're good at what they do, they probably, maybe not StockTwits, but they probably have a Twitter. They might have a Reddit or a Pinterest, whatever is on there. Even like Weeble comments. Like if I was investor relations, like you would want to have your ear to the ground on all of that. And so, I was really trying to get to him that they need to update investors, that, you said this, what's going on? And then I finally said, when do you expect to update investors? And this is why, part of the reason why I took some profits when we were up 100%, because if I can't get simple emails back from investor relations, now this was a little, this was me, I go on to say, has there been some kind of delay? Do we have an updated timeline? Don't you think investors should know 4 weeks after the timeline? So I kind of start to grill them a little bit. And that was just from this email, but then I'll follow it up from a different email, my mom's email. And
good cop, bad cop.
Yeah, exactly. And so when I really don't get answers from say this email is like the quote unquote bad cop, when I can't get emails from the bad cop, okay, fine, because I'm kind of grilling you a little bit, whatever. Then if I try the good cop from my mom's email and I still can't get anything, then that is when, the buzzard starts to go up and like, what's going on here?
Do you think maybe they're not responding because they can tell that it's the same person because your spelling is so shitty?
No, it's actually funny. I have a checker for my emails. I have someone check out my emails. Well, actually, not my emails, but the ones I send from my mom. They're like, "Hello, how are you?"
Is that how she talks?
But yeah, so I think it's really important that, if you understand that, even though it's through email, that you mean business. Understand that you're going in there. It's kind of like, okay, when you go to a bar, you need to. I do love my bar analogies. When you walk into the bar, your boys and you, okay, your boys know that you're a man on a mission. Okay, the cutest girl from the sorority across the bar, when you walk in with that kind of confidence and your chest high, she knows that you're there for business. And it's the same inside this email. Kevin Tansley from Trinity Bio, when he opens up.
But hey, dude, but at the same time, you don't want to let them know you're there for business and not just there to get laid.
Yes. Yes, you're there for the longevity.
You're there for the long term. Yeah.
The longevity.
We're not just there for one night.
No, we're there forever, baby. We're there forever. Yeah, we will not be using EVFM. Yeah, no, but in all seriousness, understand that when they're going to know from your email if you know what you're talking about or not. So even something as simple as you said that you hope to gain by the end of June. Okay, you need to include EUA. Okay, then you need to include your source, because if you're including your source inside the email, then boom, then they know that you mean business. Or when I'm asking about cash updates, you need to include from the last time, okay, not the last 8K, not the last financials, from the very last the very most recent time that you can find, you need to update on the cash. And you need to say, okay, from my standards, it says this. And then you take the cash minus the burn rate, and you say, okay, this is what it should be. Is that accurate? And you need to have all of your sources in the email, because if not, they're going to say, we can't disclose that. But if you come at them and they know that you understand what you're doing and you're just not some schmook from StockTwits, that you'll have a better chance of them answering.
All right, cool. So that was how to write an email with Hugh Henne. This is actually an idea I just thought we could freestyle real quick. Do you have the market pulled up?
Yeah.
What are you seeing today that like really pops at you? Like I said, this is the first time we've ever been able to record while the market's open. I think Trib actually had a nice day, huh?
Yeah, let me pull it up. Okay, Trib, a little spanky.
A little perky.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I've been away most of the day. Yeah,
I mean, we got some things carrying us, but like we said, it's been hard to be read this week, depending on what swings you're in. Obviously, that's, it's different for everyone. You get screwed just if you were in an offering, like even with like AVGR, it had an offering, and I'm sure a lot of people lost a shit ton of money and didn't look back, and now they're hearing people talk about us over 50.
Yeah. Well, and then you have what do you call it? NKLA. I know a lot of people like that one, right? That had terrible earnings too, right? NKLA, is that what it is? No? Yeah.
And PRPO halted up again yesterday.
Yeah, PRPO halted up again yesterday. Yeah, so, it's been a real interesting first few days. I feel like I say this every week. I feel aged from this week. When my power went out in the middle, like 7 minutes into the conference call, or the corporate update yesterday, and I don't get service at my house. God, I hate New Jersey. I don't get service at my house. So I actually went on a run at like 4:30 this morning and just stood on a corner of the street until like 7:30 this morning. And then I ran back home and I drove to Atlantic City, and now I'm here. So that's how
it's incredible because he didn't have any service, and he texted me. He's like, "Can you give me the number to Lagaria?" And I said, okay. So I look up his city and state and type in Lagaria.
It was for pizza, and I go, for dinner.
And I couldn't find it. And I go, are you sure it's Lagaria? And he goes, oh, no, dude, sorry. It was La Galleria. 2 different words, like insane. I don't know how this kid is functioning. But yeah, I guess we can kind of last 2 segments of the minisode, a couple questions and answers, and then a little scenario as always.
Yeah, real quick, and for everyone listening to this, okay, think of this as like your midweek mental check-in. Just because the first 3 days have been fantastic for us, okay, I've hit my weekly goal, and I haven't even been around. I literally haven't been around. Just because we've hit our weekly goal does not mean that the last 2 days can't completely screw us in the pooch, because that is, especially when you see like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as fire, guess what? A lot of people might take off on Friday, especially in the summer as we start to wind things down. Okay, so you got to keep your chin up.
Dude, it's August. Summer's about to end, man. How crazy is that?
I know.
Okay, so I guess if we're gonna dive right into Q&A, but yeah, you just gotta stay strong. Never know when everything's, because look at the market, like we were talking about, it's so high, and it could just plummet. Okay, so if you see an alert in Discord or Twitter or wherever it may be, what DD do you do afterwards, assuming you don't automatically buy? We beg you guys not to buy it. Obviously. And there are 3 different ways, I think. Well, obviously more, but this person included 3. They said, do you just do some quick skim DD? Do you do like your extensive whole DD? Or do you just wait for a dip from whenever they called it? Me personally, I do wait for a dip, and I wait and see confirmation from other people I trust to make sure it's something I want to be in. The more confirmation on it I can get, the better. And obviously, when a lot of these people announce it, it just gets so much volume, and a lot of times it will get sold off just as quickly, and I don't want to get caught in that.
Yeah, you definitely would. Yeah, I think for me, if I'm like, no one can call like Zach and PJ and I quote unquote pumpers, because guess what? Most of our plays are at least a week and a half to 2 weeks out. So relax, take a deep breath. I know everybody wants to just hit the buy, but especially for me, you have time. You have time. Usually you have like 2 weeks. So relax. Do your good homework on it, because most of the time I'm connecting dots.
Yeah, and if you call something, a lot of times you'll have an offering after he calls it, so you can buy it even cheaper.
Yeah, funny. I'm glad we like that one. But in all seriousness, is that my plays, there's time. You have time on them, so let them do your homework, because a lot of times I'm not just buying something. TRVN I did buy based on the PDUFA, but most of the time I'm trying to connect dots that are really not easy to just see. So for me, do your homework, and then, or if you're buying the news, and also this depends on what kind of trader you are. If you're purely a day trader and someone says, boom, I'm buying this because of a dip, and it has news and it has 3 times relative volume, then I think at that point, then maybe it's okay to buy the alert, because, say something has 8:30 a.m. news, boom, flies up at 9, trickles back down, and then 9:30 sells off. Boom, dip, but it still has good volume. Sometimes those go much, 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 much higher than the pre-market high. So maybe something like that, I wouldn't, do too much DD in, but that's because, you have to understand why it's moving. So that's moving because it has news. So I think it depends what kind of trader you are, but always, especially like if you're a swing trader, just do as much DD as possible.
Hey, and a lot of the times you have to keep in mind all the little jargons. If they just say they're adding it on a dip, that may mean that they're doing it for a day trade. And if you don't have like 25K and you're on margin, you may want to avoid that one.
Yeah. Always understand why they are doing it. Why they are doing it. Ooh.
Okay. Let's see. What is your biggest loss or losses? I got hit pretty bad by BMRA. I guess if I was to check right now what it is, honestly, if it was unrealized included, it would be SPAC, without a doubt.
I've taken big hits, but I've taken bigger percent hits than I do now. You know what I mean? Like now I don't take the percent hits that I used to, but back in the day, man, I used to take big percent hits. Like I was up. Let me see, I guess it was like 2 summers ago, I was up 40,000 on something, and that would have been I was up 40,000 in like a week or two, and then like some terrible news came out, and I lost the 40 grand plus another 20 on top of it, so it was like I lost like a third of my account or something, like 30%.
How much of a gut check was that for you as a 19-year-old to basically think you were smooth sailing with 40 fucking racks? And then just to lose it.
Yeah, that was like what I was up. I was like 40,000 a week. I was like, man, I'm gonna be a billionaire by the time I'm done college. And then
well, you are.
Well, no, billionaire.
Oh, okay.
That's
no,
next
you're
year.
not.
No, I'm not. But yeah, so that one I had I think I had 70% of my portfolio in. So to lose all my gains and then an additional 20,000, I think like my entire portfolio took like a massive hit like 2 years ago.
I'm still waiting for my really big hit. Hopefully it never happens, but yeah. I haven't had anything too big.
I mean, I've had 6-figure losses, but I don't know. BMRA was 50. BMRA was 50, but I still made 70 I still made like 100 on the trade or something. But
yeah, so yeah, you made it out alive, but still, that one sucked.
Yeah, that one sucks.
I guess I got 2 more. Remember one just because I was looking at it today. OTLK. Someone mentioned like your thoughts on it right now, mainly due to I think what he referred to as death candles.
Wait, hang on. I haven't actually looked at OTLK this week.
Okay, well, while you go look at it, I'll go for the other one. How did you two become such good friends? I dated Hugh's sister, actually. No, honestly, if how we became friends, we were both in Buy Sell Shorts Discord. This was before he banned me from the Discord. But we were both in there, and I would DM him all the time and bug the shit out of him. And then eventually he was like, if I just respond, maybe he'll quit. And sure enough, no, we just became friends from that. Would you like to tell your perspective, Hugh? I think it was about GHSI. I kept asking him his price target on GHSI.
Dude, you asked me like 50,000 times, and then do you remember like the last the message that I answered?
Yeah, you gave me the price target of something it already hit, and I was like, no fucking way.
yeah, and then we started talking, and you're like, oh, I have my Discord, and then do you remember what you said about Auburn? You said three things. No. You said, my greatest, I peaked in blank, my greatest accomplishment was airballing blank, and my mom is my best friend. That's what you said.
Oh, am I trying to fill in the blanks?
Yeah. Except the mom one. I filled in the blank for your mom.
Yeah. I don't remember telling you my mom was my best friend, but whatever. You can lie about that. I have lots of friends. Okay. It was a halftime show.
Yeah, at Auburn. You said that was your greatest accomplishment.
It was a women's basketball halftime show. And I absolutely peaked my sophomore year of college.
And then that's when I was like, oh, okay. You're cool.
He's like everyone else.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Man, if by the end of the time we're recording this, EVFM breaks 3, what are you going to do?
I'm not going to do anything. I just said what I'm going to do.
Okay.
I mean, unless it'd have to dip. It'd have to dip. I don't know what it'd have to dip, but it'd have to dip for me to like
dip.
Yeah, like I got a pretty good size now. No.
It moves kind of slow. I'm just scared. I think we may see 290, 280 in the next couple of days though, but I think that'll be really good ads on.
Yeah.
Okay. So did you look up the OTLK thing?
Oh yeah, I did. What do you call it? OTLK? I'll be honest. I thought that it was gonna run a little bit more right now. I mean, we saw 173, which I was like, this is too easily. But now it looks like it's creating pretty good support around like the 130 area. I'll be honest, this is like a run up to pretty like I'm kind of shocked that this isn't at 2 if I'm being honest. But it looked from the chart, it looks like there's a lot of selling pressure every time that it gets a jolt. It seems like there's a big seller, and that could be out of our control. I'll be honest, it's still it's still like 2 weeks out, so I'll be doing my thing, and I'll be.
I think I might set a stop loss at like 127.
Yeah.
I know we're anti-stop loss, but I'm scared if this 130 breaks, we may see some bad.
Yeah, this was supposed to be like somewhere where I could put my money easily and, it run up to its data. And it did. It was, it was looking beautiful to that 173. And then all of a sudden, I'm looking at the chart. It looks like a lot of selling pressure. I won't take a loss on it. I'll probably do the same thing, like a mental stop there. But, I still think that it could, if it starts to curl, then we could see, that 173. And then if it breaks through there, then R2. But like I said, this isn't like a DD mania, insane pick. This was supposed to be a run up to phase 3 data. And it was doing great. It was going beautiful. I'm looking at the chart now. It was doing beautiful until, I guess, a 173 seller came in. And, he's just pounded that.
Yeah, and then at 144, the day after the bigger drop, they had a big institutional investor sell a bunch of them. That dropped it down to 130, but it bounced back to 140 that day, which is a nice little dip buy opportunity.
Yeah, so that's kind of my plan.
Okay, so you want...
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, so last part of the sode, let's get it. It's from Jerry. Okay, so I have a scenario. I'm 29 years old, 3 kids, a wife where we both work full-time and make pretty good salaries to keep up with our daily and monthly expenses. On Tuesday, we closed on a house. Congratulations. We have owned for quite some time and have some built-up equity. After purchasing our new home already, we are looking to put around $25,000 into the stock market. Now, as a trader, I'm very new and I don't want to risk our family's money since I have kids and a wife to worry about, but I would like to still invest it into something safe. I don't know if an ETF is good or if it'd be better to just put $25,000 into some large cap stocks and let them ride. I ask this from the standpoint of someone trying to take a safer risk. I'll have a separate chunk of cash that will trade with daily. But how would someone like you suggest for someone to invest long-term with a low risk as a better option to a savings account? I hope I asked that question correctly.
Yes.
Thanks.
Just
closed.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. 29 years old, 3 kids, wife, both work full time. He's got $25K that he doesn't want in a savings account. What should he roll with? And why is the answer going to be an hour-long rant about an IRA?
Okay. Boom. 3 quick things. 1, anywhere is better than a savings account. Anywhere. I keep like $1,200 inside my 2 bank. Enough to bail me out. That's what I keep. Okay, anywhere. I swear to God, anywhere is better than that. 2, it depends on your risk level, okay? If, again, you can say that you can't lose this money, and that's good. But no matter what you invest in, there's always that risk. That's why, again, we talked about last time. There's so much ceiling and there's so much not. Now, you said that you have pretty good salaries. If you can contribute to a Roth IRA straight up, do that. If not, and we talked about this, boom, traditional, roll it over to a Roth, and then every year contribute to that traditional and roll it over to the Roth. I'm telling you. Go on, find a calculator about the difference between if you do like the reverse rollover, if you roll over from a traditional to a Roth, how much it'll save you. If it'll save you, I'm not even joking, millions of dollars. Millions. And even still, even if you don't, have millions of dollars, if say you're starting at 29 and you're only contributing some part, it'll still be like $1 million, maybe like 1.4, but in the traditional, like 500,000 of that would be taken. So I think it's super important that, everybody should have a Roth. Everybody, even if you make too much money, have a Roth and roll over the money from a traditional. Now, we get into what we should and what we want to invest in. That is purely based on your risk. Now, we have different things like index funds. Index funds are really simple, but you're not going to make a lot, but you're also not going to lose a lot, but you don't have to worry about it. You're going to make 7-8%. Then you can go to BlackRock. BlackRock, when the market averages around 8%, BlackRock in like their more risky, quote unquote risky, their more bullish attempts. So BlackRock is like a fund, and their quote unquote more risky funds, when the market does like 8%, their fund will do like 28%. So again, it's more risky, so you're looking at more downside, but when the market goes up a good chunk, if the market goes up like an 8% average, then this index fund will go up like 25%. So and maybe not that much, but I can link that too as well. But so it really depends, if you're really looking for no risk, go an index fund, because that's just going to track the market. The market doesn't go down, the market will, it averages around 4% a year. So that's good. We'll take that. If you want to go a little more risky, then what I suggest you doing is that you listen, personally, I wouldn't be buying any equity right now unless you literally do not need this money for years, because I think that when the rug gets pulled, it'll get pulled hard. Now, if you have an individual brokerage and you can pull out your money whenever, because remember, after 2008, a down halt, the market can only lose 20% per day before it halts and ends for the day. So, keep that in mind, is that if you have your own individual brokerage and say you want to buy Apple or you want to buy Amazon stock, just keep an eye on it. And if you see the market start to do a rug pull, boom, get your money out. Okay. Now, if you go through like a financial advisor where it has like a transaction 2 day. So what that means is that if you call up your broker and you say, yo, Hugh, get me out of this, it won't happen for 2 business days. So that means that potentially the market could go down 60%. What's the point of pulling out your money at that point? So to wrap it up,
that would have to be the worst 3 days in economic history.
Well, and that's
obviously.
Well, see, here's the thing: is that a quick 2-minute rant. Okay, 2008, everybody was starting to see the rug pull. They called up their brokers and said, "Get me out, get me out, get me out." The aftershock was so much worse in 2008 because everybody pulled their money. Like, the market could have recovered at that time, but because everyone pulled their money and half of them didn't even know about this, transactional time period, boom, the market just caved because there was no liquidity. That's my rant, okay? But again, anything's better than a savings account. Make sure that you have a Roth. If you do not have a Roth, take the 25, put it in a traditional, and then move it over to a Roth. Just do it.
Yeah, I was actually gonna say, like, right now, assuming like if they
Yeah.
don't have one, would you say him and his wife both put in the yearly maximum? I guess like
Yes,
5,000
yes.
or whatever.
Just do the maximum.
And then I think, yeah, if him and his wife both did that, and you put another 8K in to start investing in what you want, you, like we said, be careful. The market's pretty high for all this shenanigans
Yes.
going on right now. And then you still have 7K in your savings for
Yes,
any
and if I were you, boom, traditional, roll it over to a Roth, and then max contribute as much as possible. And when you're in your Roth, do an individual broker like TD or oh my god, I'm drawing a fart. E-Trade, something like that, where you can pull your money out and actively manage it on your own, because you can still buy indexes with your own capital in those in the Roth IRAs. So again, no savings account, Roth IRA, and then indexes, and keep an eye on it. Have like a stop loss. There's nothing wrong with having a stop loss in your Roth IRA, because if the market goes down 5%, or I would go more like 12%, if it goes down 12%, then boom, your money's out. And now you don't have to really worry about a rug pull as much. Okay, you still have to, but not as much. You're letting your downside risk go a little bit. So I think that that's important. Now, if you have a Roth IRA, then what I would do is that open up another individual broker account and treat that just like you would your Roth, because it sounds like you don't want to lose the money and you want to do as much risk, or you want to, keep as much risk out as possible. So I would go index funds, and then you don't have to worry about it, and you're buying a little piece of like a billion companies.
All right, sweet. He did send one more message after that, and he said, and an extra question if possible, since you guys don't look to really profit off of helping others, like with Atlas Trading and all the podcasts you do, I would love to hear your unbiased opinion on either great books or YouTubers to follow to learn more about strategies. It's so hard to sift through the BS. Pennies Going in Raw is a really good podcast. It's pretty new. Two guys on there are really good. I'd recommend that one.
Yeah,
How about you,
dude,
man?
I've heard about Pennies Going in Raw. I've heard they're the best.
I didn't think it was going to be good. Then I listened to it, and damn, those kids
You know what else?
So
if I'm not a huge... I would definitely do, if you guys haven't, The Big Short and Margin Call. It'll kind of give... And, of course, China Hustle.
it's like a history lesson.
It's literally like a history lesson, but it's
Man.
awesome. And if you don't have a background in finance, then that's okay. It'll still teach you. And then Gary Trades, of course. He'll go over some charts with you. Gary Trades, our boy.
Yeah, I think it just find anyone you can have a dialogue with, an open dialogue about stocks. That's why I'm so bullish on the Discord voice channels for a lot of these. With that being said, though, that does sum up our first midweek PGIR episode. We hope you all have enjoyed, and we'll see you Sunday. The market still is going to be open for another 30 minutes today, and we should have this one rolled out tonight.
We might have... Dude,
been a
it's
pleasure.
been a pleasure. We're working on a new swing. We are working on a new swing.
And the shirts are coming out soon, too.
Oh, it's a good week, baby.
Dude, it is, man. All right, well, you go kill yourself out in Atlantic City, metaphorically, of course. Do your thing, and I'll talk to you soon, man.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you, homie.